Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel, and thumbs the video up if you enjoyed this video. Question of the day, guys. Question of the day. Who's ducking who? Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. My question to you guys is, who do you believe is the real reason this fight, this unification fight, this undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder? Who do you believe is responsible for this fight not happening? Why do you guys think this fight is being prolonged? Why? Please let me know down in the comment section of this video. And don't just tell me I think it's Joshua or I think Wilder's fault. Like, tell me an explanation. Like, tell me why. You know, give me evidence, anything you could think of as to why. I'm going to tell you who I think is ducking, if anyone's ducking. In my opinion, I based it off Deontay Wilder being the ducker, okay? Now, this is why I see it like this. When I look at Anthony Joshua, when I look at Deontay Wilder, right? I look at history. I look at both of their history, okay? Both of their histories. Now, you guys already know how I feel with how I judge fighters. And how I respect fighters. It's based on resume, right? If a fighter has a padded resume, I'm gonna be clowning him, all right? I'm gonna be clowning him. I'm gonna be chastising him. I'm gonna be making fun of him. If a fighter has a stacked resume, I'm gonna be showing him respect, okay? I told you guys, I look at the history, all right? When it comes to Deontay Wilder has a history of being a cherry picker, and these are just facts. He has a history of avoiding fights that he should have fought, all right? This is a guy that for years was supposed to fight Vladimir Klitschko, but he never fought him. And I don't care what anyone says. He had an opportunity to face Vladimir Klitschko, but he didn't do it. When I look at Anthony Joshua, this is a guy. Look, I already told you guys in a previous video, this year has been Deontay Wilder's best year because he fought Luis Ortiz, because he fought Tyson Fury. Now, mind you, this is his 10th year as a pro. He turned pro 2008, 10 years ago, and this is also his. He's had over 40 fights, so it took him nearly 40 fights to finally fight a guy in the level of Luis Ortiz, and to get in there with a guy in the level of Tyson Fury. Okay, so for 10 years and 40 fights, it took him that long. Okay, now let's just compare that to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, it took him 4 years to fight a former long-reigning champion in Vladimir Klitschko, right? He turned pro 2013. He fought Vladimir by 2017. That is insane. Yet back in 2013, 2014, Deontay Wilder's team didn't want to put him in there against Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, so that right there shows me that Anthony Joshua was willing to take the risks, right? He was willing to take the risk early on in his career. Mind you, he only had like 19 fights. In 2 years into his career, he fought Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte was an undefeated heavyweight. Dillian Whyte right now is ranked as one of the best heavyweights in the world. Not just one of the best British heavyweights, one of the best heavyweights in the world. I believe that he would be a champion if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua were not around. I believe he would be a champion. He would hold a version of the heavyweight championships. Okay? That's how good he is, right? He fought Dillian Whyte in his, 16th fight. Alright? That's a big deal. Especially now, because at that time, Dillian Whyte really wasn't known. But now, Dillian Whyte is known as a legit heavyweight, top 10 elite heavyweight. So this is why I always say, as the years go on, his victory over Dillian Whyte looks better and better and better because of the fact that what Dillian Whyte has gone on to do. Dillian Whyte has gone on to be a former champion who was just a champion earlier this year in Joseph Parker. So it just goes to show you how good Dillian Whyte is, right? And he's probably going to be Derek Chisora this Saturday, by the way. So you look at Joshua. 4 years into his career, he's in there with guys like Dillian Whyte. He's in there with guys like Vladimir Klitschko. He's unifying belts with Joseph Parker. He's in there with guys like Alexander Povetkin. Alexander Povetkin is considered a monster, a boogeyman. So this shows me that Anthony Joshua was not protected. Okay, this is why I have more faith, or I have like more faith, and I believe. Not to say that Eddie Hearn has never lied, but I believe someone in wanting to fight an opponent in their division. I believe more somebody like Anthony Joshua, because he's proved to me as a boxing fan, he's proved to me that he's willing to fight the best in his division, because he was doing it early on, and he's going out calling these guys out. But again, you compare that to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder showed to me that he was a protected fighter early on in his career. You know, he was fighting, like I said, I don't count his first 30 opponents. His first 30 opponents were bums. Guys that had like 15, 10 losses in their records. Guys he should never fought. So that's why when I look at Wilder, it's easy for me to be like, okay, this guy is the one ducking, or his team is the one ducking, because his history shows me that he wasn't willing to fight the best or challenge himself early on in his career. It took him 10 years and 40 fights to finally challenge himself. Like I said, his history speaks for himself. His resume speaks for itself. This is why it's difficult to me to not believe Anthony Joshua's team. All right, and like I said, he had opportunities to face Anthony Joshua. You had Tyson, you had Eddie Hearn's team offering him, $15 million, money that he's never made in his career. I believe he made like $4 million, $3 million against Tyson Fury, right? Offering these big paydays, offering $23 million if he were to fight Dillian White, beat him, and then fought Anthony Joshua. $8 million for Dillian White, and then $15 million for Anthony Joshua. Imagine if he would have beat Anthony Joshua in the rematch, he would have get 3 times as much as that, right? Because he would be undisputed. He would be the ace at that point. So this is why, like I said, it's easy for me to look at Anthony Joshua as the guy who is not the one ducking, because Wilder's history. Anyway, that's just my own reason. But let me know your guys' reason down below. Anyway, guys, I'm out.